Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Madam Secretary.
Good morning.
Pleasure to see you today, and thanks for coming to testify on the proposed DOE's 25 budget. Appreciate that very much. I look forward to discussing our national energy challenges as well, and the energy issues which impact my district, probably no surprise. First of all, the subject of the Lower Snake River dams I'd like to address. I believe the preservation of the 4 Lower Snake River dams is absolutely critical and important to the state of Washington, in fact, to the entire Pacific Northwest. For years, I've worked to combat what I would call environmental activists as well as dam breaching advocates in their effort to breach the dams. So in December, the administration finalized an agreement called the Columbia River System Operations litigation. The agreement acknowledges that only Congress has the authority to authorize breaching the dams, which I appreciate that recognition. However, the agreement makes commitments to develop energy replacement for the dams, as well as recommending spilling operations. A lot of stakeholders have expressed very serious reservations about this plan. If it comes to fruition, the results will be catastrophic. Adjusting spilling operations could make the dams functionally obsolete and useless. Energy prices will skyrocket. People who depend on the river system will suffer. And I believe the salmon population will be harmed as well. It is, in fact, or a de facto breaching of the dams. So my question, Madam Secretary, are you telling us, are you, through this recommendation, admitting that the administration is recommending policies that represent de facto breaching of the dams in an effort to would essentially circumvent the congressional authority to make that decision?
No, I'm definitely not telling you that. I'm not here telling you that at all. Congress is the only place that has the authority to do the breaching of the dams. I think the agreement was a positive step to replenish salmon, to be able to address hatcheries, to work with the tribes on additional power, yes, but that's not to replace. We need enough power there's not enough power to go around, and we need all the power we can get.
I would agree with that statement. We need more, not less power. I'd like to transition into talking about something that we're very proud of in the Northwest, is the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory. PNNL is a leading hydropower lab conducting innovative research for DOE's Water Power Technology Office. The agency professes a clean energy agenda focused on efficiency, low energy costs, and renewable energy. You, in fact, even have acknowledged that hydropower's role in achieving this. I believe April of last year, you testified before the Senate Committee on Commerce. In response to a question, you said something like, hydropower was a renewable, cheap form of power that should be expanding and not reducing. And I couldn't agree with you more than that. Yet, the agency is proposing a $40 million budget cut to the Water Power Technologies Office for fiscal year 25, which I think would cripple PNNL's hydropower efforts and it seems to me a declaration of war on hydropower. If you could respond to that, I agree we need cheap, low-cost, clean, reliable energy now more than ever before. So why would the agency be proposing this cut?
First of all, let me just say we are in alignment on making sure that we have hydroelectric power in this country, and we want to see expansions. In fact, we just put out a funding opportunity announcement for more hydroelectric power. So, and we'd love to see at some point some additional plus up those efforts financially. We would love to incentivize additional hydroelectric power across the country. So I
So not a war declaration, but just a
Absolutely not.
statement and the reduction.
Not a statement. I think there was some prioritization that had to be done, but believe me, we are very much in favor of dam power and would like to see more of it.
We'll get some clarification as your staff scrambles to get those numbers, and we'll look forward to continuing visiting with you on that. Hanford, I want to talk about that just a little bit. You know, I've always been and will continue to advocate for adequate cleanup funding for Hanford. Certainly, it's the largest environmental cleanup site in the country. We've got a lot of accomplishments that we can point to, the heating up of the first large melter and now the second. We're making great progress there. And as you know, funding's got to continue to grow as the vitrification process moves forward. But with that said, I know there's also cleanup projects around the country, other cleanup projects. So in light of that, within the context of the Energy Department's budget proposal, and I noticed that there's a decrease in the overall EM budget, which is slightly concerning. How does DOE plan to ensure that there's going to be enough funding to go around as we move forward?
Well, this is something we want to continue to work, obviously, with Congress on. I note that at Hanford, there still is a significant budget there, $3 billion, but we also recognize some projects move off. And so there may be decreases in the EM budget related to that, but Hanford is just such a big priority. And thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to working to make sure that EM, you're going to be going to the cleanup caucus tonight, EM is supported all the way through.
So on that Hanford site, the agency announced the Clean Up to Clean Energy Initiative, which is great, to utilize underutilized properties. You also announced the issuance of requests for qualifications offering 18,000 acres for development, which is all good stuff, but the Tri-Cities area has expressed, the community has expressed some concerns about the trajectory of this initiative, alleging that DOE has been unwilling to transfer land back to the community and has been favoring short-term solar projects that disincentivize investors who are looking for longer-term investments in things such as nuclear or hydrogen development. So I'm hopeful that the agency will listen to the concerns of the community and take their concerns into consideration. And could you give me some assurances that Department of Energy will work with the Tri-City community to incorporate their requests and their concerns into these land use decisions and truly fairly assess all clean energy applications related to this initiative, make sure they're considered equally?
Absolutely. I hadn't heard that there were concerns about it, but we obviously have to work hand in glove with the Tri-Cities area. I know that Ike White, the head of environmental management, is there all the time, and our team is there listening and working, and to the extent that we need to follow up with you on that, we're eager to do that.
Appreciate that. And then, I'm sorry, going real fast here, but also concerning Hanford, is the Office of River Protection. It's expected to sunset soon and will combine with the Richland Operations Office. So as you know, the Office of River Protection was created to ensure that Hanford's tank waste operations got adequate, appropriate attention. How can we make sure that that attention will continue and that their work will not be ignored as we move forward with both offices getting the equal attention they deserve?
Yeah, it is just a top priority. We cannot allow that part of the mission to be subsumed in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, it affects the region outside of just Hanford. It's very, very critical. So it will not be subsumed. It will not be deprioritized.
Great, great. I can tell you, you've educated yourself a lot in the last 3 years. I appreciate that very much on Hanford. And then if I could just return real quickly to the Lower Snake River dams. You stated that you're not advocating breaching. even in a de facto manner. So could I ask you to reconcile that statement with what seems to be very clear from the administration, that the plan is in fact breaching the dams?
I don't, I mean, the agreement itself is a 10-year stop on considering anything like that, right? It's basically holds in place while we build up the capability for salmon, for fishery, for hatcheries, and for the tribes to develop their own additional power. That's what I can tell you. That's what's in the agreement, and we need power. And I know there's a study that's embedded with this, so there's no de facto or subterfuge here. It's an agreement that gets us a 10-year ability to evaluate.
Well, again, from your last response earlier, I would agree with you 100% that we need to add power capability, not take away. So.